everybody, welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to be looking at some items I got from the Stampin' Up clearance sale. I am a big sucker for clearance. I cannot pass up a good sale, and these items were really quite a good deal, and so me being me, I can't just get one of anything. I had to get multiples of everything. So I thought we'd go through some of the things that I got today. This is a really tiny little haul. But I thought I'd go through some of the items and see what we can make with what I bought, right? Because that's always the goal, is to make something cool with it. One of the first items I got was this little shaker globe. Now this is intended, I'll stick it a little bit together. This is intended to go with a stamp set that was called Gumball Greetings, I think it was. Yeah, the stamp set was called Gumball Greetings. And the stamp set, unfortunately, was not for sale anymore, nor was the die set that would cut out the shape of this. But I saw this and I was like, you know what, this is a really cool little window here to make something out of, to make like a little shaker window card. So I thought this was a really cool little shaker window that I could make a card out of, even if I don't have the stamp set or the dies that go with it. Now, not having the dies might be a little bit difficult because obviously this is kind of an odd shape, but we'll see what I can do. I'm sure I can figure something out. I thought, you know, this is cool. It could be a gumball machine, obviously, which is what it was intended to be, but I thought it could be cool to be a fishbowl or something like that also. So I thought some cute things could be made out of that. And it does have the sticky on the back, so that's already all set for you. And there were 10 in a box, and these were super cheap. They were $2.50 for a pack of 10, which was a really great deal because I think originally they were like $10 for a pack of 10, so $1 per little card here, or little shaker window. So that's a really good deal. So of course I got 2 sets of it. I don't know. I hope I will be able to use all of them, but you know, I can't pass up a good deal. What can I say? So got those, and then I got these, which were also part of the same release. And these, I don't know if you can see, are really cool little beads. And I really like the frosted look of them. And these are obviously intended to be gumballs in the gumball little shaker card, little shaker window. Right? How cool would that be? But I thought, you know what, these are cool for an embellishment for any type of thing. And so, again, they were on sale for like $1.50 for the whole container. So, of course, again, I had to get 2. I have a little bit of a hoarding problem, guys. I'll be honest. It's an issue. So another item that I picked up at the sale was this package of ephemera. I think that's what it's called. And it's got these different little leaves and frames and different little elements, and they're very delicate. They come apart very quickly, very easily. They actually fall apart quite a bit. So it'll be interesting to see how I can use those. They do have adhesive on the back. With it came these sequins that are also adhesive, and they have a nice shimmer to them. The main thing that I was excited about was this animal builder. This is a penguin animal builder. And if you've never used any of the Stampin' Up presses before, they are really cool. So I have a couple of others that I've used in the past. So this is one that's an owl, and this is from way long ago, like at least 5-6 years ago, probably more. And all these little pieces, including the little eyeballs and hearts and all of that, they're all here. And the other thing that's nice about Stampin' Up presses is they fold down a bit flat, so they do take up a lot of room in my storage area, but they are fun and nice to have, and I like having the ability to build those little characters really quickly like that. I have these owl ones that I've done in the past. And then here's another one that I have. This one is a cute little fox, and I do have the stamp set that came with this one, and it is a very cute set. I probably don't use it as often as I should. I have so many old stamp sets, you guys, that I never haul out because I'm always buying the new things, right? The latest and greatest. So I should probably do a series of hauling out all of my old stamp sets and doing something with them. Additionally, I should probably also do a series of all of the stamp sets that I've bought and all the embellishments and different things that I bought that I haven't actually even used yet. So why am I buying constantly new things? Because the companies always keep coming out with cooler, better, greater things. So there's that. So this is a very small haul, like I said, but I'm going to do my best to try and make some cards out of the different elements that I have here. So let's go ahead and get started on that. The first thing I'm going to do is going to cut out the various elements for the penguin in the stamp set. Ah! Shoot, and I did pinch myself there, you guys. I don't know if you see that. That is gonna leave a mark. That's gonna hurt tomorrow. That is not good. Anyway, crafting is dangerous. What can I say? These little pieces go together just like that to make a little penguin. Ooh, and that does hurt. A couple different feet in the yellow cardstock. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to glue this little guy together. And this is my favorite glue. I've used this one before. The link to it is down below. It is the Art Glitter Glue, and I like this one because it dries clear. And I am not a very neat crafter, as I have said before, and because I'm not a neat crafter, it is helpful to know that when I use this glue, I do not have to worry about the mistakes that I inevitably make with the positioning with this. Now these little pieces are small, but they are fairly easy to put together. I did not have the stamp set that went with this, obviously, so I went ahead and I drew on the eyes and I cut out a little beak with some of the extra paper, and that looked fine, I think. And this was only $4.50. The cutter was only $4.50 on the Stampin' Up clearance website. So if this is something that interests you, I would run and grab it because I think that's a fantastic deal. I think usually these cutters are like 20 bucks. So if you can snag it for $4.50, that is a phenomenal deal, and you should definitely take advantage of that. And I think the penguin is a really useful, versatile little critter that you can use in lots of different stamps and cards. How cute is that? So now I've got this little guy that I can use with whatever card it is I'm going to make. So let's go ahead and make a card with this little dude. I saw this technique on another channel and I thought it was really cool. It was using an embossing folder and putting distress inks on it, and blending them on, and then putting that through, and it gives a really cool effect. So let's see if I'm able to get the same effect. Let's see if I'm able to do it. This particular embossing folder is one from Spellbinders, and I think that it's actually still on their site for clearance. I got it just recently, and I really liked this kind of Fair Isle sweater look to it, and I thought this was great for the holidays, especially for anything non-denominational or anything wintry, and so with our little penguin guy, which would be really cool. Now, if you'll see that the color of the bristles does not match the color of the handle, that is because I had some children who used my inks, and yeah, they did that. So now my colors of the blenders are completely backwards, but that's okay. That's what kids will do. I'm wondering if these colors are going to be too similar to give that ombre effect that I'm looking for, but we'll test it out. And if I need to, I can always go back over it again after I've done the embossing with the embossing folder, and I can always go ahead and add more ink in spots if I need to. And these are the inks that I have used. It's just a plain piece of white cardstock. We're going to go ahead and put this in and then run it through the die machine. Moment of reveal. Let's see how this came out. Oh, I really like that. I really like that, how that came out. I'm not sure which side I would use as the top or the bottom. Maybe this being the bottom. So this would be like the sky. And I am going to maybe blend that purple a little bit more. I think that gave a really nice effect. The white of the paper really stands out with that. Okay. So I went through my stash of different kits that I have, and this is one of the reasons I love kits, is like you can always haul them out and there are different elements that will work for different things. And I saw that this one actually had a snow globe, and I think, even though this is not quite the same size, I think that this will fit for the snow globe. So what do you guys think about that? I think that looks really cute. I think we can go ahead and make that work. Some of the other kits I considered, because I've got a lot of the Christmas kits. This one is really cool. This one, I really like this one with the little elves and the North Pole and all of that. So with the little igloo, I might use the little igloo in this. So let's go ahead and put some pieces together, and we will go ahead and put together a little scene and with the snow. I was looking at this and I saw these little elements and I thought, how cute is that? It's having like a little greetings from the North Pole there, or I could use the penguin and the little guy that is fishing off the edge, or I could use the igloo there. So yeah, I think I might go ahead and make a little scene inside of the snow globe, just to give it a nice little background on whatever we choose to do. Give it a nice little color. Doesn't have to be very much because it's not going to be covering up a huge space. Okay, I'm not sure which elements I'm going to use here. I have the little penguin sitting next to him. I don't know if I need the mountains. That might be enough. Maybe just the little guy with the doing the fishing, and then go ahead and use the Hero Arts Intense Black ink. This is one of my favorite inks, and I have not used this before, so whenever I have a new stamp that I have not used before, I do like to stamp it off, because you just never know how that image will actually come out. And you see it's not quite clear there. Ooh. Okay, see guys, I'm not a very tidy stamper. Okay, there we go. I'm wondering if I just do the bottom here of the little iceberg. Go ahead. This is my my imperfect masking here. We can go ahead and have maybe a couple little penguins doing some ice fishing. That's cute. I think it looks like they're holding hands maybe. And then I did have these little fish, since they're going ice fishing. I'm a very imperfect crafter, guys. That is something you need to know about me. I always say good enough is good enough. I'm just going to use this fine pen to just draw around this, since I do not have the die that came with it. It's a little bit of a bummer, but now what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut a little bit on the inside of those lines, right? Because I don't want that to show on the exterior, so I'm going to cut on the inside. Now I have this. That fits perfectly. One of the things I don't like about the Distress inks is they do tend to get all over your fingertips, even when it's already drying on the piece of paper. Like, it still does tend to rub off quite a bit. Okay, so for this I'm going to go ahead and choose just the little blue, maybe some of the kind of clear beads here. Now, in addition to the beads I had here, I have these little diamonds and I have these little sequins that I'm going to toss in as well, just a few of them. And these, you guys, if you saw my previous video, which is down below, I got these all at the Dollar Tree. So these were super cheap embellishments. I think it was $3 for all of these, and then $3 for all of these. And these are great little pieces. And I know that they are a lot more expensive at Michael's or other stores, as you can see in the video that I made from the Dollar Tree. Now this does have one side that is slightly bigger than the other, so we do have to be careful about that. One of the things that always makes me a little nervous with things like adhesives is it can be so easy to not get things on precisely. Oh, I don't know what's the best way to do this. All right, I think that worked. And how's that? How cute is that? I really like that. All the little elements there. That is so adorable. I did have some specialty wood grain paper from my stash here, so I think, I'm not quite sure how I like that together. Maybe this specialty paper would be a little bit better. I don't know. I think I like the wood. I am also going to cut these kind of snowy hills and use those as part of the background as well. Okay, so we've cut the base of this out. I think that works really nicely, actually. I think that fits really well. You would almost think this was made for it. Now I forgot that these actually come attached to the bottom. I'm not sure that I'm going to use that, but I'm going to cut it with a little flap just in case I do decide to use that. And I didn't even put any extra ink on this brush. This is just leftover from what was there already. Just kind of giving it a little more definition. Now I'm just going to go ahead and tap these pieces lightly on my Versamark pad. It doesn't have to be very precise. And in fact, I don't want it to be precise. I want it to be kind of a little bit random. So once it is embossed, it will puff up and look a little bit like snow, but just to give it a little more texture. I think textured embossing powders like these are such a great staple to have on hand. You might not think you'd use them very often, but I find that I really do. I just discovered something. This was kind of dumb of me. I noticed that this wasn't sticking very well. And I just discovered that that's because this actually has tape on this side. Now I don't want to undo all of it because so that was a little silly of me not to be aware of that. But I don't want to do the whole thing because I want the sides to stay with that. But now the more you know, right? Okay, so this is kind of what I'm thinking. Having our little guy up there and having the snow mounds there. What do we think? That looks kind of cool. I'm just going to glue these pieces here. Again, not being super precise. So this is just a piece of foam that I'm cutting to the size that I want this to be. And again, I will cut it a little bit smaller so that it doesn't stick out on the sides. And this has adhesive on the back, so. The adhesive is only on one side of the foam tape. It's actually a foam sheet, and so I am adding glue to the opposite side so that I can stick it onto my card. Putting a good amount of glue on there because I definitely don't want this to come up. And it is a pretty thick piece here. Now, normally I would stick something like this like under a heavy book to try and keep it stuck, but with this, because of the unusual shape, it does make it harder. And then we've got our little penguin. I think I should make more than one penguin. I might make more than one penguin. No, maybe one off to the side. I'm going ahead and speeding through me making a second penguin because I did decide that the card needed that for a little bit of balance, and I went ahead and propped them up on some foam tape. And I did several layers of that foam to get them up to the right height. This piece, this card base in my stash, so I'm just going to go ahead and score it at the 4 1/4 mark. using the Score Buddy. I went into my stash of Better Press plates and dies, and I found this sentiment that I thought, oh, what could be more perfect? You melt my heart. So I think that'll be a great interior sentiment to this card. I'll go ahead and put that on this. And I did cut a piece slightly smaller than an A2 size because I do want it to be smaller than that when I put it on the inside. When I put it on the inside of the card base, I'm going to want it to be slightly smaller so that I can go ahead and be able to actually put it on the interior without it messing up. And this is the Spellbinders A Better Press letterpress system, which gives a great result. There are other videos down below that you can see on how to use that. Now I'm going to go ahead and do the interior of the card and the back side of the card now, because obviously once I have this on here, it's going to be pretty hard to go ahead and do anything else. And this is the crane paper that I talked about in one of my previous videos. Very, very similar to the Better Press paper, but when I bought it, it was much cheaper. It was a pack of 200 for like $25. Although I do believe it has gone up in price significantly since then, but hopefully it will come back down. Now to go ahead and use all the elements in one card, because, you know, why not? I'm going to go ahead and use this little frame on my sentiment. These are pretty delicate. How nice will that be? Now it's just a matter of getting this really, oh my gosh, this is hard. There we go. Okay, so that didn't work at all. How are you supposed to get this off? Is this not sticky? Okay. I thought this was supposed to be sticky, but it looks like maybe it's not. Is this really not sticky? That seems like that would be silly if this wasn't sticky, right? Why would they make this not sticky? Because these are so fine. They would be so difficult to get glue on. Why, oh why would they make this not sticky? No, this is not sticky. Okay, good to know. Wish I had known that a little bit earlier, but that's fine. I've got another one here, and I will just go ahead and use this other one. But that does make these slightly less useful than I had been hoping they would be, because it is really difficult to get glue on such fine, fine, fine pieces here. But we will try. But seriously, what on earth were they thinking? Not making this with an adhesive back. Talk about creating a headache. So all that to say, I do not recommend this little frame if you are going to get these, or if you do, just know that that will be your lot. That will be your future. It does look kind of cool, but just so you are aware of that. And I'll be honest, I am just using this so that I can use all the pieces that I bought in my most recent haul here, so that way I can say, yes, I did go ahead and use everything. Now what do we think? Do we think that this should have a little sentiment or something as well? I feel like maybe it is missing a little something. I found this little tag that I think will look cute here for a little sentiment. Well, fingers crossed I don't mess this up, because this is, you know, my one chance to do it. And since this is vellum, I want to make sure not to get it on the actual vellum, just get it on the frame. I probably should have used an anti-static tool on the inside so that stuff didn't stay stuck, but I don't think it's a bad look even with all of that. And there you have it. There is my shaker card made with all of the elements from the Stampin' Up! Clearance mini haul that I got. I hope you liked it. I hope you will join me next time for some more crafty fun. If you enjoyed this video, if it was helpful to you, please like, subscribe, share. I really appreciate it. And let me know if you guys get any of these elements and if you make anything with these elements, and I'd love to see what you make. I'd love to see your cards, so go ahead and tag me in that if you do go ahead and make something. Thanks so much for watching. I appreciate it. Bye!